John Cleese and John Lennon have a few things in common. Both being British, born around 1940, and well beloved by you and your best friend Molly when you were in the 8th grade. Each is additionally the indirect cause of your nearly getting beaten up by the junior girls lacrosse team on one occasion, and quite thoroughly beaten up on another. The junior girls lacrosse team hate you, and your best friend Molly too. Ever since they caught the two of you practicing your John Cleese silly walks in the parking lot after school. Cameron Dowd, Kelly Boudreau, and them corner you and want to know, what kind of freaking rejects are you anyhow? No, they've never heard of Monty Python's Flying Freak Show, one of them said. The other one wants to know if you've ever heard of a punch on the head. But this first altercation turns out rather well. You and Molly simply wrestled free and run like hell. It had been such a saving grace in so many ways to have met each other. Molly had just walked right up to you on the first day of school. Heard you were a bit of a weirdo, she said, which was cool, because people said that about her, too. Molly wore a purple sweater vest, had shoulder-length hair the color of prairie wheat, bright blue eyes and very straight teeth with shiny silver braces on them. Her grandparents came from Ukraine and she was going to be a famous painter someday. She could draw better than anybody. Horses, dogs, ladies, you name it. You love to draw too, but certain things like perspective and proportion just didn't come naturally to you. It was even Molly who'd introduced you to the Beatles in the first place, and now Beatle music was the best thing in your life besides Molly. So, the year is 1980, and Molly turns 13 years old today. She makes chocolate cake in a bag, like in the Ballad of John and Yoko, for the two of you to eat seated cross-legged, backs against lockers at lunchtime. But before you've even reached recess, there's this gaggle of grinning 8th graders singling you out to tell you some info they hope will upset you. They want to know if you've heard the news yet. That Jack Lemmon has just been shot. At the age of 12, you're not even sure who that person is. You reckon some Hollywood actor of your parents' generation, but the gentleman you're picturing in your head is not Jack Lemmon, but Walter Matthau instead. You think it's depressing that someone would shoot some old actor, but why are they telling this to you in particular? The disappointed boys submerge into the migration of students streaming down the halls, and it isn't until later that afternoon you and Molly learn the truth. It's all over the news, radio and television, swarming like a virus. It crackles into every ear, leaving emptiness in its wake, into which empty space flows music like a healing balm. You stay on the phone with Molly all night, sniffling to radio station vigils by candlelight. A few weeks later, there's a series of noon-hour symposiums in the school auditorium. Any student who wishes to could get up at a podium in front of a microphone and rattle on about whatever topic stokes them. One girl spends the whole hour extolling Mike Reno of Loverboy, while another boy wears a bedsheet and models his symposium after those of ancient Greece. Then another kid talks really quietly about why divorce should be illegal. You convince yourself that this is your opportunity to do some good in the name of global peace and harmony. So you put together a little speech about Ahimsa, Mahatma Gandhi, and the history of non-violent resistance, closing with a coda about John Lennon and the irony of that deluded gunman citing Catcher in the Rye as writing inciting his misguided mind to violence. But just as you're about to close, someone calls out from the very back row, "Wait! There's something there just dying to know." The voice steps out into the light and, oh cripes, it's Cameron Dowd and Kelly Boudreau. And Cameron says, "So, are you saying that if somebody punched you right in the face, you wouldn't even punch back?" And you think, "Dang, I'm screwed." You can't just drop John Lennon and Mahatma Gandhi too like a pair of pacifist hot potatoes. All you can really do is say no. No, Cameron, I would not punch that person. You say and try to mean it, but all you feel is personal doom, descending like a heavy velvet curtain. If you gain a piece of wisdom, then fail to act in accordance with it, does the wisdom go away again, or are you just a hypocrite? If you're not even as good as your word, then you're not worth spit. So you reckon you better get on with it and finish your speech by making a peace sign to the 3 people still listening. Then beating a hasty retreat out the backstage door and onto the soccer green. But it's too late. The junior girls lacrosse team is already heading you off at the pass. A sort of fox and hound scenario with the double doors behind the drama class, with Amazonian Kelly Boudreau leading the pack with the battle cry, "We're so gonna kick your ass." But it's saddening. Half a dozen jocks versus 1 vegetarian pacifist. So after they've all had a chance to rough you up a bit, most fall back, leaving just Cameron Dowd, standing over you, blocking out the clouds, asking again if you're sure you don't want to change anything you said. Again, you say no. So Cameron winds back and clouts you right in the head. Now, and it came to pass that whacks in the head became closely associated with a number of significant life events. As though your skull were so thick you needed to be literally clouded into the next level of sense. And you found sense of humor to be a saving grace. You take the original long, sad story and replace it with something short and pithy as a flounder to the face. You come to see that which nearly kills you can become hilarious eventually. And to view life as like an old movie in shaky black and white with rickety piano from those bygone days of silent film when it was just plain funny, when somebody fell down 3 flights of stairs, or his pants catch on fire, or he's beaten repeatedly about the head and shoulders by the parasol of an irate dowager. Such primitive methods of advancing plot have been known more commonly than not as slapstick comedy. Named after the Bataccio, it was a slapping stick with a flap, which inflicted more sound than fury on thespians of Commedia dell'arte who struck one another with it. Since as long ago as the 16th century, the Bataccio had enabled actors to beat each other silly, while causing very little actual physical damage, and so for the theater reduced liability. There have been very similar implements back in the institution. Made of the same squidgy styrofoam as swimming noodles, you were supposed to whack your caseworker with it when he was really getting under your skin. But in too controlled an environment to accomplish much of anything, whereas your own whacks to the head had been genuine article, as though you'd been one of those jukeboxes which just doesn't play until some karmic guru comes and whacks it in just the right way.